As stock market investors, we've all heard about diversification, which allows you to reduce your risk. Investing in companies from various market sectors is one way to diversify. This video will go over the 11 different market sectors, analyze their one-year performance, and assess their fundamentals by looking at dividend yield, which is important for dividend investors, as well as return on investment, which is important for gross investors. Before we proceed, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more similar content. The first sector to consider is communication services, which includes well-known companies such as Spotify, Twitter, and Trivago. In terms of the price-to-earnings ratio for this year's estimates, communication services has a market weight of 11.11%. The communication services has a population of 32,733. The price-to-earnings ratio, or PE ratio, is the ratio of a company's share price to earnings per share. This ratio is used to value companies and determine whether they're overvalued or undervalued. Consumer discretionary comes in second, with a market weight of 10.54%. We have some well-known companies here, including Amazon, Norwegian Cruise Line, and MGM Resorts. Here, the PE ratio is much higher, with estimates for this year sitting at 65.71%. The consumer's discretionary sector's dividend yield is currently 2.63%. The following industry is consumer staples. Companies like Coca-Cola and Campbell Soup can be found here. At 3.18%, the dividend yield is slightly higher than in the previous sector. In terms of return on equity, this sector is performing somewhat poorly, with a figure of negative 47.59%. The next sector is energy, which has suffered greatly in terms of performance. Examples of companies represented here are Chevron and ExxonMobil. Their dividend yield is quite high at 8.14%, but their price-to-earnings ratio is not currently available. Because the sector as a whole is not profitable, there are no actual earnings to calculate the price-to-earnings ratio accurately. The next sector is financials. Here we have a lower price-to-earnings ratio, which was 10.30 for last year's GAAP. This year's estimates are significantly higher, sitting at 89.7%. Goldman Sachs, as well as any other financial institution or bank, is an example of a company in the financial sector. This sector's dividend yield is a respectable 4.70%. If you've made it this far, by the way, don't forget to like the video and follow us on YouTube by hitting that subscribe button. Moving on, we have the healthcare sector. Companies in the healthcare sector and pharmaceutical sectors such as Biogen, Pfizer, and Merck can be mentioned here. Based on last year's GAAP actual, the PE ratio for the healthcare sector is 39.93, while the PE ratio based on this year's estimate is 36.38. The dividend yield for this industry is 2.30%. The seventh sector that we'll look at is industries. We have companies like United Airlines, Delta, and Caterpillar. This category has a dividend yield of 2.88%. The eighth sector is information technology, which has a massive market weight of 26.63%. Companies like Facebook, Microsoft, and Adobe can be found here. Dividend yields for information technology companies are typically lower, and this sector currently has a dividend yield of 60%. The return on equity for the information technology sector is 29.71%. Next, we have the material sector, with Sherwin-Williams as an example of a company. This sector's dividend yield is 3.60%, and the price-to-earnings ratio for this year's estimate is 53.50. The next industry that we have is real estate, of 2.70%. The dividend yield on real estate is a respectable 4.68%. Here you will find a variety of real estate companies, such as REIT or real estate investment trusts, such as the American Tower, which is one of the world's largest real estate investment trusts. There are also American Realty investors. Finally, on the 11th sector, we have utilities to look at. Based on last year's GAAP actual, the price-to-earnings ratio is 23.03, and the price-to-earnings ratio for this year's estimate is 32.37. This sector's dividend yield is currently 4.17%. American Water and NextEra Energy are two examples of companies in this category. If you wanted to highlight a couple of key findings from our review, here they are. The sector with the highest average dividend yield turned out to be energy, with a dividend yield of 8.14%. The sector with the highest return on equity based on the preceding 12-month period is information technology, which has a return on equity of 29%. In addition, the information technology sector had the best one-year performance, returning 29.63%. Finally, with a market capitalization of $19 trillion, information technology is definitely the largest sector in terms of market capitalization. Now, we'd love to hear from you guys. Do comment down below which stock market sector do you believe is your favorite and which sectors you're investing in right now. Which sectors do you also think are not a good investment at all? Do let us know in the comment section down below, whether it's real estate, whether it's energy, the material sector, or information technology. We'd definitely love to hear from you guys. By the way, before you go, please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel to get more content like this. Looking forward to seeing you in the next video.